Hello, guys. I wanted to talk to you tonight about some of the media buying that's been done in the presidential campaigns of this year. How Trump and Biden, how they're shaping up with their spending, and where they have advantages, where they have disadvantages as far as media presence. Just like where the money's being thrown around, and Mike Bloomberg, the presidential candidate, has quite the involvement in all this. So I'll start by saying that Trump has some advantages in some states, but not nearly what Biden has. Let's see, Trump's spending advantage is in Albuquerque, most of Iowa, central and southern Ohio, all of Georgia, and most of North Carolina. And then you got Biden, who has spending advantages in Michigan, and that's all of Michigan. Like, he just completely outspends Trump in Michigan. All of Wisconsin, all of Pennsylvania, all of Minnesota, Nevada, Arizona, and most importantly, perhaps, all of Florida. Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, those are all, well, Wisconsin's sort of a swing state, but they voted for Trump last time, so the Democrats definitely want to get him back. But yeah, basically all the swing states, besides Ohio, which a lot of people don't consider a swing state these days, even though we have the record since 1964 of picking every president, but people don't take us seriously like they used to when it comes to swing state status. So these days, Florida was the big one, and it's really obvious when you look at the fact that, well, the top four states in media spending is Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And then you have, what's really impressive is the three largest spending markets are all in Florida, and that's Tampa, Orlando, and Miami. Those regions, Tampa, Orlando, and Miami, are the three biggest spending regions in the country. And there's a big reason why. By the way, I got that information from a Wesleyan Media Project. And according to Politico, Mike Bloomberg has spent, since September, so basically the last month and really the last 6 weeks of the presidential race, Michael Bloomberg, and this is the guy who ran in the Democratic primaries and just forked over like hundreds of millions, like something like $350 million he spent this spring trying to become president. And he bought like a 10 to 15% piece of the pie of the Democratic primary voters because of the absurd amount of money he was spending. I mean, it's crazy how much money this guy is willing to throw around, and he just and this is where it gets nuts. Just in the last, since mid to late September, he's committed to spending $100 million in Florida, and as far as I know, he's been good for it. $100 million just in Florida, and I don't think he's spending it wildly everywhere, but he sees how his money can talk in this election. So he's throwing $100 million into Florida alone. So Florida is just getting blanketed in ads, and Trump knows it's a must-win state. Like, Trump knows he has to win Florida to win the presidency. His team knows that, and statistically speaking, it's probably the most important swing state of this election. Just by the amount of electoral votes alone. But Trump is getting annihilated in media spending in Florida mostly because of Mike Bloomberg, who spent, like $100 million just in Florida, just since September. It's crazy. But overall, Trump has raised more for his campaign, but since September, Trump has raised only $81 million, and I say only $81 million when you compare to the $280 million, nearly $300 million that Biden's raised since September. Or actually, no, just in September, actually. I think that was what it said. Was just in the month of September, Trump raised $81 million, Biden raised $280 million. So who knows? Maybe Mike Bloomberg is dumping money in there too. But what caught the headlines was Bloomberg dumping $100 million into Florida, doing everything but hiring goons to shut down polls so that the Republicans can't vote for, because the Republicans are going to be probably voting in the polls in person more than Democrats. I don't know. I'm just joking around. But he's doing just about everything but hiring goons to keep Republican voters out of the polls in Florida. It's crazy. We're talking like $500 million he spent in 2020. When it's all said and done, over the 2020 presidential race, it'll have been like $500 million. And I just think it's an important issue, the media buys and how each candidate spends, because it affects what we see and hear when it comes to elections. So anyway, glad to share it with you guys, and we'll be in touch.